Alright guys, welcome back to the ESL Major Series for Heroes of the Storm as we've had our first series of the night conclude. Now we're going to get into series number 2. It's going to be Planet Key Dynamics going up against BR Bakers. As always, here at the Hero League, I am with Kaldor, moving into our second series.
Yeah, and we're going into our first game on Shire after the picks and bans. The teams are, I think, nearly ready to go for that. So I'm expecting a very cool series between them. We have PKD in amazing shape right now. They had a lot of lineup changes. They had, like, I think that's the third variation of the team lineup they're running with within nearly the same amount of weeks. And they are extremely strong. They have a couple of players that were formerly playing for SK in the lines now as well. BR Bakers, a team that is extremely solid, has been doing very well in the European scene. But right now, PKD probably the favorite in this one.
PKD going into last week, unfortunately, fell to Well Met, but it was a very close series. We saw that play out across all 3 games. So actually, we can get into the bans and picks now for our first game in this best of 3, as PKD and BR Bakers are wasting no time.
Yep, and we're already having the ban on Zeratul by Planet Key Dynamics. And, well, Planet Key Dynamics actually was also able to win. I always have to think about which tournament they won, but I think it was the Go4Heroes tournament, which took place on Sunday. They took one of the 2 and did extremely well there. Well, there's too many tournaments happening these days. But yeah, they've been on top of their game in the last few days. And, well, BR Bakers, also a very strong team, is actually banning out Brightwing here and allows Stitches, therefore.
Yeah, Planet Key Dynamics. I'm surprised that that got through so I guess they're just going to pick it up. I mean...
Planet Key Dynamics is actually a team that for the longest time was like the team when we talked about double healer comps. And BR Bakers with a ban on Brightwing could make it very difficult for Planet Key Dynamics to pick up a decent healer. If they are going for that, if that's their thought process. But I would not be surprised to see something like an Uther being picked right away now, and then together with that maybe either a Tacita or already one of the DPS heroes. So there's a very cool dynamic already in this game because of the Brightwing ban.
Yeah, that could be cool. That could be cool. It depends on BR Bakers want to do. At least they have 2 picks, right? So it's not like a full commitment to the idea of, right, if we ban away Brightwing and then pick up Uther, like, we have no room. They still have a little wiggle room of that second pick, so they could pick up some good damage.
Brightwing is, of course, on this map especially strong since he is very mobile and can jump into those like not tribute fights, but of course like shrine fights quite easily to help the team out. But BR Bakers, I'm surprised that they take this long to go for that pick. I mean, what do you expect? You go for the ban on Brightwing, so obviously in, well, 95% of the matches your opponent is going to pick Stitches, right? So why is BR Bakers now waiting this long for their pick? I mean, there has to be some game plan at this point.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm a bit blown away to see now the bonus pool already being down to like 40 seconds or 50 in this case. And then they pick up the Tacita here. Yeah, I would have thought that at least the first picks for them go fast because there's a strategy behind it. But apparently, they're kind of winging it.
Well, maybe. I think your mindset towards the idea of there being a play because of the Brightwing ban certainly holds up. It's going to be Tacita and Sergeant Hammer, though. So, I mean, 2 good picks. But now if we see Planet Key Dynamics with one of their 2 picks pick up that Uther, as you were mentioning before, where does that leave BR Bakers? Oh, they're going to pick actually just a lot of damage. All right.
And yeah, a lot of damage that is indeed. So now we're probably going to see the healer picks. By the way, we had PKD win the last 2 Go4Heroes tournaments. So I don't think they played on Saturday in the tournament that took place there, but they took both of the last, like they took the last Sunday's Go4Heroes tournament and the week before as well. Beat our Bakers now against Stitches, against All That Sun. I'm a little bit surprised that we do not see the Uther pick because Uther Stitches is a great combo. They have great synergy.
Oh, yeah.
So I would have not been surprised if they would have said, all right, we'll leave you one of those DPS heroes, take the Uther, and then go into something like let's say, Nazebo, for example, which on this map is pretty decent. But apparently they don't want to do that, so they go for two very, very strong DPS heroes. They have one of the best tanks with great initiation in the game now as well. Beat Our Bakers is still looking at Sergeant Hammer and Tassada. They can go for Uther now, which will give them also an opportunity to go into an additional melee assassin, which could be a Kerrigan. But they are really starting to drop very, very low on their time.
Yeah, it's going to be Uther. It's going to be Uther. So again, as you were mentioning, it even does take it away from the idea of Planet Key dynamics, having that good synergy between the Stitches and the Uther, just the hook into the Uther stun. It can be a scary thing. I mean, even I have picked up kills with it with Todd. So even that has happened. All right. So that's how good it is.
I'm really wondering what the next move is. You know, typically, like, I don't know, you look at the lineup now, and I think a melee assassin would still be good. But then, which tank are you going to pick for that? What do you do when your opponent is going to pick up even an Azebo with that? There's the Muradin, so that's a very, very good frontliner, and that leaves them some options for the last pick. Planet Key dynamics right now, Malfurion or Rhaegar, I would not mind seeing... Okay, that is already an interesting one. I guess this pick... first of all, I like Rhaegar.
Yes.
They picked too fast.
Let us talk, goddammit.
Malfurion or Rhaegar. I like the Rhaegar pick. Now they have them because it gives you that burst heal and it gives you options. With Tyrael, you make sure that your opponent has a problem playing Nazebo. And also you can initiate upon the hammer. And if there is going to be, let's say, a Reyna or a melee assassin, you have another thing that is going for you. And with the Tyrael, Rhaegar adds even additional value because we kind of the initiation, you can save his ass with ancestral healing. And you have the shield as well. So I kind of like what they are doing here. I like that setup a lot.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool team. When I look at the lineup solely just from an outside perspective, not thinking about what has actually gone on to create these lineups, I'm looking at PKD and thinking, ooh, that's gonna be scary. They've only got 5 seconds left on this last pick, and it's gonna be Nazebo, despite Tyrael being out there.
Yeah, balls to the walls, going for Nazebo versus cast aside against the Stitchers, against ballsy comp.
All right. Well, let's get into our game. It's going to be on Dragonshire, if you've forgotten from the beginning, whilst we were getting into those picks and bans. You are already in the lobby. I can never join when I'm doing the full screen thing on that, but joining in and getting good to go. And these teams are looking fast and furious right out of the gates. This is going to be a good game. I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah. I have to say that I think that, I mean, if you look at the team lineup from Beat Our Bakers, it's solid. It's what you would describe as a solid lineup. You have a very, very good front lineup. You have a good healer behind that. You have Tassada for additional assist, and there is a good damage dealer with Sergeant Hammer behind it, and also Nazebo. But in general, I have to admit that I like that lineup for Planet Key Dynamics a lot more, especially since Stitches is there. Stitches versus Hammer is always great to have against the Nazebo. It's great too, especially later in the game. Those hooks are going to be like just brilliant once he picks up the fishing hook. Since we don't have resurgence in the game anymore, tanks are also very vulnerable against that, even though you can jump away. We have a bit of lockdown with Uther and Muradin for Beat Our Bakers, but Planet Key Dynamics has a very, very sweet lineup here, and I would not be surprised if they would just roll over Beat Our Bakers, because they have a healing ward on Rhaegar, they have the chain heal, they have the ancestral healing, they have displacement most likely on Tyrael, they have the initiation with the Judgment. There's a lot of DPS behind that with Tychus and Vala. Vala can go for another stun. Then we have Stitches with a potential Gorge. Like, there's so much going for Planet Key Dynamics right now that I think Beat Our Bakers will have a very, very tough game.
I mean, I actually have to ask a Nubia question here, Kaldor. But in current meta, are Rhaegars picking up the routing totem as well?
Oftentimes, yeah.
Okay.
So you can use that as a lockdown as well.
Yeah.
The most important thing on Rhaegar at this point is I feel really a level 1 talent. This is one of the reasons why he started to see a bit of play again, because Blizzard buffed the healing ward and therefore also buffed his level 1 talent.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of heal with that. And he's good if you really want to keep... I mean, Tyrael in this game for me is taking the role of a bit of a melee assassin. as well. I mean, there's several reasons why you pick the Tyrael. You pick him against the Nazebo, but he's also someone who can jump the back line. And he is a little bit like that melee assassin without really having as much of a damage output, but he just disrupts the back line very well.
Oh, yeah.
And there where you can keep him with Rhaegar alive thanks to all the healing spells that you have. So I like that.
Yeah, I mean, even his shield helps out a whole lot when you're actually going into those fights, jumping on in, getting that judgment. And if you're able to get a good cast aside and displace, as you were mentioning before, it's just, it can turn the tide of games very, very easily if you get all of this off. So anyway, let's get into it then. Game number 1 between Planet Key Dynamics and Beat Our Bakers.
Dragonshire is the first map, ladies and gentlemen, at the ESL Major League between PKD and Beat Our Bakers. The left side of the map, we are having Breeze for Beat Our Bakers in blue on Muradin, Tomze on Sergeant Hammer, Nande is playing Uther, Wooby on Tacita, and Orospu on Nazebo. To the right side in red, it is Individuum for Planet Key Dynamics. On Tychus, we have BKB on Tyrael, Neps on Rhaegar, Antihero on Stitches, and Blow Your Brain, aka Fury, is playing on Vala here. I'm Caldo, with me is Calarius, and we're going to bring you game number 1 in the best of 3 series here at the ESL Major League.
And already Muradin is opting to go for Reverberation, so not going into extra hammer potential here at the start of things off. And a hook onto Wooby instantly, but picking him up and actually being able to shift out of there, it's not exactly the target they really wanted.
Yeah, they got a bit unlucky there. They were already thinking that somebody would be positioned over here, and they hooked him out right away, but they didn't get the kill. We have both teams going for that 4-man rotation between mid and bottom lane. Every 8 seconds, you just go for that, and it's a pretty cool one. Are they going to try and shift up that pattern? So far, they are trying to stick with it, apparently. As you already picked up upon, we're having Reverberation on level 1 taken by Muradin, so with all that right-click damage that we're seeing for the opponent's team, he apparently wants to use that. Could even see that on level 4 as well. I'm interested to see if he switches it over to the Stormbolt or if he plays completely with a Thunderclap build.
Interestingly, okay, so now takes Purge Evil. I was going to say, Tyrael was yet to actually skill during all of that, so just playing it slow. Muradin's actually soaking nicely in mid, but actually the pressure at the bottom, they're going to be able to pick up this shrine pretty quick.
We saw a few Tyrael builds in the recent past, some of them experimenting with the shield on death and similar things, but normally the smite build at the beginning of the match is the one. I'm curious about the level 4 talent, because if you play Tyrael as a solo, the solo tank in your team, which you can, then we are seeing amplified healing. In this case, I wouldn't be surprised to see him go for a full smite build instead. Rhaegar, of course, has his healing ward. At the top lane, Tomze and BKB are going up against each other, and the tank is not gonna have a good time here.
Nope, gets jumped onto straight away and takes a lot of damage. So it's going to be hard to actually secure that shrine. That's going to give them the position in mid to potentially pick this up. There's actually not too much rotation towards mid. They really need to get towards him. They're zoning him out, but good storm from Wooby will deny that from being picked up.
Yeah, bottom lane is picked, but nope, that's going to be a Dragon Knight. 2-minute Dragon Knight already. That's going to give you a bit of a lead. We have amplified healing, by the way, taken by Tyrael at the top, so going for a very, very tanky comp. I like that, I respect that. Thunderclap at the same time taken for Muradin on level 2. And now the 3-man rotation to the bottom lane, so they are actually trying to push 2 of those walls in.
Yeah, not doing too badly. I mean, the composition already works out for them very, very nice. It's a scary composition to go up against in general. Doing quite a bit of damage here to these towers down at the bot. The Dragon Knight finally broken out of there as Nebsy's just going to dash on back. Not going to be too easy to kill Rhaegar anytime soon with his wolf form.
Catching Rhaegar is just very, very annoying. Anti-hero down here on the other hand in the wall of zombies. He gets healed by the healing ward, but in comes Breeze, but they don't kill him. And that hook nearly hit home. That was a close one.
Very, very close. Very close. If he'd have hit that, that would have been a dead Muradin, but he's dead anyway, so that's all good. Meanwhile, back at top, not much. We're just seeing BKB run on back, get himself a little bit of healing. Tomzy was able to push him out of lane for a second, but not too long. He's still soaking.
Yeah, and well, for now we're having Tomze pushing BKB back, doing quite well against Tyrael here. Not really getting that kill in. He needs to wait for the heal, but he welled up. Tower in the mid lane is already gone. There was not much left to it anyway, so they killed that already. Gives them the level 7 talent, and there we have the double battle momentum already going for them. And also on Rhaegar, the Earth Shield.
And Muradin on the other side is actually opting to go for crowd control over the idea of Sledgehammer to really bust down buildings and stuff like that. So he really wants his Thunderclap available to him as much as possible during all of these fights as they continue on. It's kind of a cool choice.
It's actually really funny when you start seeing that with Rewind on level 13. It's pretty cool. Like, you can basically hit that 4 or 5 times in a row and eliminate an entire wave within a second. It's possible, like, without a problem at all. So at the later stages of the game, you can do quite a lot of stuff with that if you jump into an opponent.
Hard camp is being taken here by Uther as well as Nazeebo. And there's been small skirmishes up at the top here. He's just placing a lot of mines in that bush just in case BKB would be foolish enough to walk into it after seeing them go down in there.
Tomze is going for Empiric Assault on Sergeant Hammer. It's a talent we see every now and then. It's interesting to see it here. Didn't really expect it. But yeah, they're going for that, trying to give him more sustain. We have also Cleanse taken on Uther. Normal build for Tacita. Gitbin taken for Nazeebo. It was actually quite nice when we had in one of the last patches still Mercenary Lord taken by heroes like a Nubarak and a Zebo, but then Blizzard changed it and made it kind of useless, unfortunately. Maybe it was a bit too strong before that. But now we have another thing starting to push in, and that's once again Nepsa, who grabbed Dragon Knight number 2 for his team.
Yeah, and they just got level 10 as well, so if there was a force of a fight elsewhere, this could go badly here for BR Bakers. Nanda's going to have some pressure at the bot from Stitches as well as Tychus. We're seeing Valor as well as Tyrael now roam towards and help out the Dragon Knight, so they've got to be very careful about taking the engagement here. Actually, Tomza can just blow up.
Yeah, and that's exactly what happens. A very, very nice sync on those stuns. The initiation with Rain of Vengeance, then BKB. They really wanted the idea. They used 2 ults for that, but hey, hashtag worth it.
Yeah, it does well. It does well. Reason as well, Nanda now going to come up to top to try and push away Nebsy, but it's going to take a little while. Whilst we're seeing Antihero looking for a hook as well with Invidium. And Wooby is going to walk straight into this. Yes, he has Dimensional Shift, but it's going to run out, and he actually gets gorged as well. That's a dead Tassadar right there.
Yeah, Wooby is not going to make it here. He goes down, and that is kill number 3 now for the team. Planet Key Dynamics does very well here. Good rotations on the map, very good control over the objectives, taking the Dragon Knight now for the 2nd time. They are 2 levels ahead. They will hit level 13 soon. We already have 2 more heroes at the bottom lane putting some pressure onto that fort. And so far, Beat Our Bakers with that comp is really not doing well.
Tyrael's going to just go straight back to top and deal with Tomsy, who, again, tries to find himself a little bit of room. He really wants to get that siege damage in because he's a siege tank. But unfortunately, BKB's not letting him do that at all.
Yeah, BKB is playing that safe now. He knows that there are a lot of heroes missing on the map, so he's not overextending too much. Bot lane, we're currently seeing another Bruiser camp taken, and that should put enough pressure onto that bottom fort so that they might maybe be able to take it down now. Antihero, of course, is going to wait for another hook. And, yeah, this time he's actually missing it. Gorge is not up anyways.
Oh well, oh well. It was worth a shot. Didn't quite work out though. As Valor now just going to control mid lane and grab some experience up there. Breeze and BKB going for a very, very long fight up top. And unfortunately, well, the hard camp didn't do as much as they would like, but it gets a hook on Tomsy as well as the Gorge straight from mid. Nice pickup, and well, yeah, dead siege tank.
Yeah, once again, the siege tank taken out. And we're having really a full slam build on Stitches here. Now that he's not the solo tank of his team, he doesn't really need to go for sustain. They're having Tyrael in the lineup as well. And this is also going to mean that there is another stun on level 16 at against Nazeebo. Actually, that's a pretty interesting thought right now, because they don't have to go for that talent. They could decide to go into Fishing Hood regardless of what they were building so far. So that's still a choice that he has, going either Fishing Hook or going for the Interrupt with Slam, which would help them against the Nazeebo, who so far hasn't really made an impression yet.
I mean, they are ahead, so of course Fishing Hook is amazing. Let's not beat around the bush here, but it's something that will, you know, keep them ahead, whereas if you get the slam, that's also going to be able to keep you ahead in good team fights if you're able to get those down as well. I'm personally a huge fan of Fishing Hook. I just like to pick it up whenever, but
the slam is just a very, very solid thing. You can't do much wrong with that. And if you're up against an Azebo, you could go for it. But Fishing Hook is a playmaker talent, of course. That talent is absolutely amazing and can win you a game straight out. If you're ahead, you might try and go with a safer option. But in this case right now, are they waiting for another hook? They have Gorge up again. There comes the hook, and no Gorge since Ruby is going into Dimensional Shift, but in comes PKD from the top.
A brilliant little move there, actually being able to hit Nanda into them. He's actually going to take the fight straight anyway. Will be taking a lot of damage. He doesn't have Dimensional Shift. Will end up falling there. And even the pickup on PKB to get him in the Ancestral Healing. They tried to stop Anti-Hero during all of that, but the jump forwards are going to take so many deaths.
They take everything down here. 3 heroes already killed. They keep everybody alive. They jump in one again. Cast side being used by Tyrael. Down goes the next hero, and Azebo is the last one to die. Everybody just wiped out, and Planet Heat Dynamics playing a perfect game so far. They haven't lost a 4. They killed 9 heroes. Didn't lose a single one of theirs. Now they're having level 16. We're actually seeing the stun taken by Stitches, not Fishing Hook in this case. And oh my god, good lord. Triple blood for blood. Well, have fun, Muradin. That's not gonna be a pleasant game for you from here.
No, not at all. It already isn't, unfortunately, but you're right. This just adds on extra pressure. So, I mean, look, we saw the power of Cast Aside there. It's a fantastic little talent that was able to just displace Nanda just slightly and really cause problems at the start of that fight. Oh, Nebze actually took Feral Lunge. I didn't even realize, but I absolutely love Feral Lunge. I think it's my favorite talent in the game, Heldo. I didn't tell you this before, but I love it. I absolutely love it.
All right. Yeah, I didn't see that coming.
No?
I think it's nice, a funny one, but I wouldn't really call it my favorite in the game just yet. I actually don't even know what that would be, to be honest with you. Probably like having very, very bad days against Novas when she was completely overpowered. I think as a Vala player, the only thing that kept me alive, like in many a game, was Blood for Blood. So I think I like that a lot.
Okay.
But it's very, very common, not as special as Feral Lunge.
If you're talking about heroics, however, Judgment is my call. Judgment is awesome. Actually, Breeze is going to take a lot of damage. Here comes Rain of Vengeance from Blow Your Mind to try and lock them in position. They're already taking so much damage, though. 3 levels ahead.
Oh, that healing in the last second. Well, 1 second too late, I should say. That was nearly the perfect heal on Tyrael, but he goes down. Tassadar died too. Tomze is once again taken apart. That last second hook by Anti-Hero, just drawing him in again. He's pulled in, and well, let's just be honest here. Beat Our Bakers gets completely taken apart here. Like, they so far didn't stand a chance. They got 1 kill, they lose a keep now, and they look extremely helpless against this lineup.
Yeah, difficult to deal with. They've got themselves 1 kill on the board, and that was during that team fight. So with Tyrael, as you mentioned already, barely not getting hit by that Ancestral Healing. So close. But the pressure is so on. Losing a keep there. They're not even at the 12-minute mark, and they're approaching level 18 here for that keep destruction. That's very, very impressive here by Planet Key Dynamics.
Yeah, this is utter domination in game number 1, and it's just that lineup that works so well. That Stitches is going to get banned next game, I can promise you that much. And the rest of the lineup just works so perfectly well for them. And it's actually like interesting, as I said earlier, I don't really think that the lineup that we're seeing for Beat Our Bakers is a bad one, not by a long shot. It's just that what we are seeing for PKD is so much better in comparison.
Yeah, it's going to take second strike, looks for a hook over the wall, doesn't get it in the end. I mean, it's an opportunity. If you get a free kill there, it's absolutely fantastic to push onto that wall again. They're actually going to take this engagement. Nebsy's going to back off, though, with their team.
They kind of have to. This is the best chance that they have to really take one, but suddenly Nanda is being hooked in. Here comes the Ravenous Spirit. That's a long distance actually to cross here. Once again, there comes in Stitches with a good hook. Oh my god, this is not looking pretty. Down goes Uta. They have that stun on Stitches. Still, he's going to go for it again. Stoneform taken on Murden. He's being gorged. Moved away. Tassadar already down, and the hook against Breeze drops him too. And this could conclude the game already. Yeah,
it could. I mean, there wasn't even that much damage being done by the Ravenous Spirit because he was on top of Stitches, not really doing a whole lot, but Blow Your Brain decided to just drop the Rain of Vengeance on him, deny it from continuing on anyway. Yeah. I mean, why not? Why not at this point? Their team was already winning out the fight. They're going to lose a keep, and Very, very well done here by Planet Key Dynamics. Such a masterclass in this composition.
Oh yeah, somebody call the care police because one team here is being murdered right now. That's 15 kills against one, and we are soon having level 20 now, whereas, well, it's going to be probably, hopefully, at least level 17 for the opponent. But a 3-level difference this late in the game is insane.
Yep. They've played it out well. They have. Once they hit that level 20, I mean, Tyrael can just stay up there for a little while, get some extra experience here, join in middle. Although they might want to pick up Dragon Knight pretty quickly here. So, but once they get 20, how are you ever going to fight here as BR Bakers?
Well, once they get the Dragon Knight, that Dragon Knight can simply right-click the core, especially when that 20 is already there. They need to win a team fight right now, I feel. I think that's the only chance that they have, get a team wipe. But again, when you're 3 levels behind, the stat advantage alone is insane. Then you have a Dragon Knight against you. You have that extra talent with the big red button. I feel at this point, the only thing that they can do is just saying like, okay guys, this game is Indiana Jones 4. It never happened. Let's just forget about it and focus on the next one.
I can empathize with that one. They're going to try and go in for this last fight here. Actually, Warrior Prince is going very low. Not even the blink count there from him. Anti-hero also going to take a lot of damage. Ancestral healing will hit him. Here goes the healing tower.
And they just go for the core here. They don't care about the heroes that they lose, and they are going to finish this game. Planet Key Dynamics in game number 1. PKD hammering away with the Dragon Knight, and this is GG as Planet Key Dynamics beat our Bakers in this best of 3 at the ESL Master League with a 1-0. And we're gonna go and jump into game number 2, of course, in just a second.
All right, so let's try and find ourselves our draft. As they just need to do some bans and picks of the maps to continue this on. But, I mean, the win or the potential victory moving into the second game, in my mind, after looking at that, it has to be fought before the battle even begins. It has to be won in terms of picks and bans and making sure that they're not going to give them that stitches for them to just eventually snowball there, Kaldor.
Yeah, that was just like there were so many kills in the early game that gave him an advantage in experience, and they just carried it with that. I feel there was very little potential for them to do anything there after they lost the initiative and lost the momentum. And it was just like a really, really nice lineup that we had there for the opponent. It was nearly the perfect roster that we had for them. So
yeah. There was very little room for. I mean, even the last pick that we saw from BR Bakers there being Nazebo. He never really got an opportunity or a good opportunity to be effective in those team fights. He was, you know, either kind of redundant later on or just being shut down earlier. Is there anything that they could have chosen outside of a Nazebo pick there to give them a better edge in that game?
with Reyna, you have the problem that you're going up against the Stitchers, who with a good hook can drop you as well.
Yeah.
They could have tried, I feel, to go for a melee assassin. The problem that they have with that is that they rely a lot on the damage from Sergeant Hammer and from the damage of the storms that we see from Tacita. But I feel maybe like a Kerrigan could have done something here. But it's pretty difficult to call. It's really not just like that the lineup in itself was bad. It was just like the comp that they were running against was so well matched against theirs that they never could play the strengths of this one. I saw one Azebo ult. Everything else was like immediately cancelled out. And that Nazebo ult that I saw at the end of the game, that didn't really make a difference anymore because it was already too late. You have the Stitches against you with Hook, you have him with Stun, you have Vala with the Rain of Vengeance. There is, of course, I mean, Tigers as well, but Tyrael, who can just simply use Cast Aside or Judgment against you. So that hero was completely negated. They never got him into a good position there. If they can run this comp, then it's going to be great. But I feel in this case, Nazebo, they were probably just saying, okay, guys, we picked Nazebo and we somehow are going to make it work. We need to have the positioning, but the hero never really came through for them.
Yep, it was a tough game to deal with there. I think we're probably going to go to a short break here, Kaldor, actually, whilst these teams get themselves good to go into this next game. They're taking a few moments here. So join us after the break, guys, for game number 2 between Planet Key Dynamics and BR Bakers after the break. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the ESL Major League here at ESL TV as we get into game number 2 now between Planet Key Dynamics and BR Bakers. If you're just joining us now, PKD took a very strong victory there in game number 1. And now we're going to be getting into the picks and bans where I think BR Bakers have to make up some room here, Kaldor.
Yeah, BR Bakers need to really think. Well, first of all, now we're having the first ban for BR Bakers, so this is already going to change things, but they definitely need to step up their picks and bans a little bit, because in the last game, I always had the feeling that they didn't really have like a plan when they took this long for their first ones. But right now, they kind of have the upper hand to at least give that draft the direction.
Yeah. They could arguably do something on the reverse, which is, there you go. They're going to actually once again go for Brightwing, but at least they have the opportunity to pick up Zeratul or Stitches here. Yeah,
so this time it's them that ban a Brightwing. Now, there was them in the last game as well, but yeah, now they have the opportunity.
Yeah, just the reverse. So, Planet Key Dynamics, who are you going to ban? Which map we're on? We're on Mines, right? So, what's the better option, do you think, here? To ban the Stitches? It's difficult. God, it's so
Zagara.
Oh no.
I like this. This is already cool. Zagara is very, very strong on this map. Because it's like a pushing map, and you can really see that they are not. This map has a bit of a different rules. I kind of forgot that we are on Mines. Mines level 4 is extremely important. It's also very important because level 4 is the level that you get when you are entering the mines for the first time, when you get the first golem. That's also why we're seeing Arthas and Kerrigan being picked. I love that. I was just about to talk about it because Arthas Kerrigan are brilliant at the beginning of the game. They both have Envenom and they combo so very well. So if you dominate the first mines and you get a huge amount of skulls, you can get such a huge lead in the game that you might be able to snowball it. It's a very snowbally map, but the teams are trying to cater towards that. Yeah. I really like what they're doing right now.
Yeah,
this is fun.
That's pretty sick. That's a pretty sick pickup there by Planet Key Dynamics. Many a time you could run up against those two when they do hit that level 4, and as you mentioned with the Envenom, it's such a huge damage spike compared to the other heroes you're actually going to face around that level. So,
and Tacita is not that strong in the mines at the beginning. So this is going to become a very, very interesting game, and I really hope for BR Bakers that they know what they're doing here, because Planet Key Dynamics look like they are just like spot on with their drafting here. They realized, okay, it's a Brightwing ban again. They were looking at it, was like, yeah, we're going to ban Zagara out. We don't want Zagara to end up in this game and push our towers and dominate then the mines with the early damage DPS, because Zagara is a hero that is very, very strong at the beginning and then falls off in the later game a bit, or in the mid game especially, in the late mid game. But BR Bakers, once again, they seem to be hesitant regarding their next pick.
I would be as well, man, if you're looking at the other side of the screen and you're seeing how much they're banning away from the early game and picking up in the early game. It's going to be Valorant Uther to go on to the later stages of the game, but compared to what we're seeing from Planet Key Dynamics at the start...
But I like Vala. Vala is a good choice now. I mean, what else are you really going to get in this case? Vala has very good... She has, like, good burst. She's a very solid hero. She's really somebody that can do quite a bit of damage there. And getting the Uther for the heals is also not a bad choice. So I feel that was very... I'm not quite sure what I would have done different in this case. What exactly you could have done here. But Planet Key Dynamics already had Arthas Kerrigan. You can simply, like, counter that out. So... this is, I feel, where Planet Key Dynamics can really make a stand. Tychus would be, and is in this case, also a very great option. They can wait with the healer right now, and they have actually like dips on another tank if they want one again. Let's see who else could be a great choice for that. I mean, for this map, could even still see a Zeratul. Not really the best hero on this map, though.
Yeah, not too much to steal away, not too much to get going from there. It's tough.
I could still see Stitches, to be honest. Stitches is a great hero. Why not get him? Maybe Planet Key Dynamics is just saying, okay, we don't want to play with a double tank, but BR Bakers should probably take him here. Stitches is very, very solid. They go for Tyrande, for Hunter's Mark, which is dirty. I mean, for the healing ward.
Even Lunar Flare there to lock them down. The idea of Kerrigan, Tyrande, and Arthas early on to get those earlier kills, I think is very, very deadly. I mean, even the grenade from Tychus, all of this really, really lends itself very nicely at the early game.
Yeah, now I still feel that Stitches should be the tank for Beta or Bakers. The other option would be Murden. But Stitches is... I mean, Stitches is Stitches. You get those hooks in and you can get a good kill, especially when you have that Murden, the Uther standing right next to you. So that would be great for them. And then they can decide to go into some kind of melee assassin. They would, of course, love to get the Kerrigan with that comp that they have with Tasla Uther, but she's already picked. So in terms of stun, I mean, even maybe something we've seen in like other teams like Alternate playing a lot with the Nubarak. What else do they have? It's tricky. It's really tricky right now.
Yeah, it is. It was very, very fun in week 1 to actually see a Nubarak come out from Alternate as a pick. But this game itself, I can't even recall. You know, we were mentioning before, have we even seen? What did we see? We saw Blackheart. Have we even seen Mines yet? Is this the first time we've seen Mines?
Yeah, it's the first time that we are playing Mines.
Yeah.
It's ETC that's being taken.
Oh, wow. Okay. This is going to be a cool game. And Jaina to round things off. Wow.
Whoa, okay.
You know what's funny? I was looking in one of those Skype chats before, and the Americans were like, Europeans have some really fun drafts. This is another one of them.
I'm very sure that Europeans say exactly the same thing about the Okay, so...
And then, well, Furion.
I mean...
All right.
Jaina keeping her alive is going to be difficult. But she can be good. Most of the time when she's being played with a Zeratul for the setup with Void Prism, and then Jaina can get Blizzard in. In this case now, I must say that I'm a little bit worried that they might get taken apart in the first mine. Looking at that. Arthas and Kerrigan are gonna reign supreme there. They have a healing ward on 2 heroes if they want it. They have a bit of heal. They have the stun. Tyrande should be safe behind Kerrigan and Arthas. I think the first mine, Planet Key Dynamics could really decide the game or like get a huge amount of momentum in the first mines. Beat our Bakers needs to make sure that they are doing well on level 4.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That I feel is the big thing here.
I think with how we've seen Planet Key Dynamics take their team fights, or in just actually their small picks of fights here and there, then this is very deadly. If we can see Beat Our Bakers sustain through that period, then it could go okay. But even towards the later stages, Kerrigan picks up again, so like over towards level 16, for example. So there is the potential for them to find extra kills there, but it really depends if the game has even got that far beyond the point of snowballing for them to actually continue on.
No, I feel like with the comp here, first of all, you can keep Jaina alive. That's something that you can definitely do with the lineup that you have here. ETC, I'm not really... I personally like ETC. I don't think ETC is too bad. Usually when you see him being played, he's comboed with something else that can really cater towards that. I don't really think that ETC should be able to get a good ult off here. So if they are trying to go into something like Mosh Pit, then I feel it's going to be very, very difficult for him to get a good ultimate off. And normally when you have ETC, or most of the times when I've seen him, it was something that helped him for that setup. And then you can see something like Tyrande to be able to set a Starfall on top of that. With the option that Jaina is going to put damage in against the heroes that are being caught by an ulti, that kind of works. But I really don't think that personally I would have picked the ETC over a Stitches and over a Murden.
I get you. And, if you're going to play something like ETC, and if you do go for something like a Mosh Pit, you better make damn sure that you're going to be hitting people like Tyrande, etc. Because if you're not, Lunar Flare's just going to bop you on the head and be doing all right. So there's certainly a lot of issues here, but if they can catch people, then that would be fantastic.
Yeah. I also have to admit that I expected Rhaegar again, because Kerrigan benefits a lot from a hero like Rhaegar, and less so from a hero like Malfurion. So that pick surprises me for PKD. I can live with Tyrande, I see the benefits there. I just think that having Rhaegar would have been better for them since they have Ancestral Healing later to keep Kerrigan alive. They have the shield to give her extra damage, give her a shield as well. So all of these things kind of cater, like the lineup that they run, cater, in my opinion, more towards having something like a Rhaegar in there than a Malfurion. So that pick surprised me a bit on the side of Planet Key Dynamics. They have now 2 squishies, and Rhaegar is also a little bit, like, it's easier for him to get away too. So yeah. Those are like the picks that I find, well, maybe a bit weird, but I'm very, very eager to see what they're going to do with that.
All right, so everyone's almost readied up here and good to go into game number 2. As, well, countdown's begun, as you can probably hear on stream. So, PKD looking very, very good there in game number 1. Now moving on to game number 2. It's going to be Haunted Mines to start things off in this game. Not like it's going anywhere. It's not going to be any other different map later on in the game. I'm not sure why I said it like that. But BR Bakers have some room to make up because, unfortunately for them, last game really got out of hand. And it could potentially get out of hand here in game number 2 if they're not able to deal with those earlier threats in this game.
This is a very, very snowbally map, and especially, like, it can actually even out. Like, it depends a bit on the first mines that open up. But if you get far behind and level 10 hits for your opponent when the second mines open, then you're in trouble. And well, let's jump in right away. We have game number 2, ladies and gentlemen, here at the ESL Major League between Planet Key Dynamics and Beat Our Bakers. To the left side of the map in blue, we're having a BKB for Planet Key Dynamics on Arthas, Antihero on Kerrigan, Blow Your Brain on Tyrande, Neps is playing Malfurion, and Individuum is playing Tychus. To the right side, it is Nande on Uther for Beat Our Bakers, Wooby on Tacita, Breeze on ETC, Tomze on Jaina, and Orospu on Vala. I'm Kaldor, with me is Kalaris, and we're going to bring you the coverage of the second game in the best of 3 series between Planet Key Dynamics and Beat Our Bakers.
Going to take the watchtowers towards the mid, and I imagine later on it's going to be that usual 4-1 split, but it depends whether or not we see a fight forced here by anybody. Looks like not just yet. Nobody really wants to go for one.
Yep. Well, we still have that 1-0 for Planet Key Dynamics. They dominated the last map. They were very successful on Shire, played a great match there. So if they're able to win it here on Haunted Mines as well, they would take that best of 3 with a 2-0. Interestingly enough, we have not a single team going for the traditional 4-man push on their golem lane. Instead, Orospu is the only hero at the top lane. We have 4 heroes for PKD there, and they are already starting to move in. At the bottom lane, we see a very similar picture with Nepse being the sole hero for his team on a white tiger, by the way. Just saying.
That's kind of cool.
A lot of swag.
Yeah.
Not as much swag as the money pick, but hey.
The money pick is pretty swag, I must admit. The problem is that I spend all of my gold on Master Skins. I'm never, ever going to get that pick.
Oh, I got the pick, and it's worth every penny.
Oh, Kaldor. Oh. The jealousy, it seethes through me right now. That pick's pretty cool.
Guys, in this game, it's level 4 that hits when the mines open for the first time that really determines a lot, or can determine a lot. A very nice first mine phase for your team can win you the game if you snowball hard, and that is what a lot of these lineups cater towards, especially with Kerrigan and Arthas being picked by Planet Key Dynamics. And there come the stuns already, together with the Tyrande. They have an extra stun in there, but Kerrigan, apparently trying to bite off a bit more than she could chew, goes down, and that gives extra experience and an earlier level 3 to their opponent already.
Yeah, that's an alright start there for BR Bakers, who were able to pick up on that quite nicely. A bit eager here at Planet Key Dynamics to try and get something going. And at the same time, just the switch up. Nebsy now up at top here, dealing with Vala, who's on a pig running around. So there's the mines now, Kaldor. Not level 4 just yet here for PKD.
This is a very bad start for PKD for sure. They're going into the bottom entrance now. The levels are nearly the same, but Malfurion is missing. It's a 4 versus 5 now down at the bottom. The coordination of them is really bad at this point. BKB is already moving back. Nepse is a bit too late. We have Anti-Hero and Blow Your Brain trying to run away. And the rest of Beat Our Bakers is like attempting to take him on. Anti-Hero is once again extremely low. Gets in the last second heal, but that is not enough. And the coordination is just absolutely not there for them at this point.
Yeah, healing totems on either side. That one for PKD will get killed off, but you know, that just wasn't ever really going to go well for them. So good stuff from BR Bakers. Actually a nice set of roots there onto Breeze. Will take down the ETC. So at least they even it up.
It was a very, very important kill for them. So they are able to get that. They're 25 skulls behind, but maybe they can jump Jaina here. They're trying to. The V-room is very low. Oh, nice stun. That might be the kill. Not quite. Yes, they get her. Died at the top. 2 heroes jumping out, but the skulls are still in favor of their opponents. Nanda is taking even more, so Bidauer Bakers is at 43 already, doing very well, but they're going to lose the 3rd hero.
All right, so cleaning it up just a little bit. If they could eventually get a few, or at least push back and then get onto Golem, they can still do all right in terms of skulls, but we're already seeing even a little bit more being cleaned up by Valor down to the bot here and ETC, just scouting around for now.
Yeah, so let's just talk a bit about what happened here. So far, I feel like what we've been saying about the 2 team drafts has been pretty spot on. The stronger level 4, definitely for PKD. They kind of lost that momentum when they got an early kill against them, and then they had a bit of a bad team coordination with Nepsa moving down to the bot lane a bit too slow. I guess he wanted to just soak more experience to give them a chance and make sure that the opponent doesn't hit level 4 too early, but that allowed them again to be spread up. But then once they really had all of their heroes together, they started to win those fights and took down 3 of their opponent's heroes. So that's when that early team advantage with their talents really came into play. And at the end of the day, it's even split with skulls. So the first phase of the game doesn't allow a snowball for either one of these teams. And this could be a very, very interesting match.
Yep, at least they were able to get the hard camp in the middle here where BR Bakers. And you know, if the Kerrigan death hadn't happened at the very beginning of level 3-ish, would have all this really gone out of the control of Planet Key Dynamics to not get their opportune moves off? Do you think that they could have had a bit more momentum there?
For me, the question is why Nepsa rotated this late. Was it just a miscall? Was it a misunderstanding? Or was he just trying to soak the last wave on the top lane because they had that disadvantage in experience because Kerrigan died? If it was a mistake, then that's more the problem than anything else, and they just communicated maybe a bit wrong. If it was actually that he intentionally decided to stay a bit longer, then they should probably not have moved in as fast as they did at the bottom lane. I guess they expected that the opponent's team to just stay at the upper half of the mines and try to take those skulls, whereas for Bidauer Bakers the idea was to move down towards the bottom entrance and get another kill in there, and they were able to get that on Kerrigan. So in this case, I feel we can't really say what exactly was the reason behind it, but it evened out once that they got their team together and got those kills in, because the lineup that they have is very, very strong in the early game, as we could see. Once you get the lockdown on a hero, he has no chance to escape.
Well, these pushes are going to continue on. It's actually been a 5 push all the while long here for PKD against the 4 push up to the top left, but now they're actually retreating back to go for the defenses. This is encroaching onto the wall here of the keep. Eventually this golem will end up falling, but they got the wall at least. They're going to force a fight.
Now they have a really good position here. PKD is in a much better spot. They took the entire wall down, so the next golem will have a very good start. The one up at the top is now down. They're also going to lose a few of the structures, but the big difference here is that they are able to heal that wall now up with the mule. Yeah. The mule on the other side of the map is not going to do too much. So right now, also with an experience lead that results in the whole thing, we're having PKD again in a very good position.
Yeah, and about to hit level 10 as well, which could cause a few problems here if they're going to stick around at the front of this wall. Kerrigan was just cleaning up top, and this will present them level 10. So, well, actually, they're not too far behind in level 10. They need another wave to really get that.
How sexy is that? They're moving down into the mines and then move up to the top because they want to make sure that they don't run into the opponent and into a roaming squad, since they didn't know where the heroes were. That was a really nice move. I like that. Splitting 3 heroes off and just going to the top lane like this.
Yep.
Smart.
Oops, gonna have to jump on back out though, as the engagement almost happened there. Level 10 has just come in though for BR Bakers. They're on the pursuit and they're trying to get Valor. Oh dear. The mind downs.
That hate. That hate. Oh. They really wanted Vala. 3, 4 heroes jumping down into the mines.
Yeah.
The hate is real. Level 11 nearly for them. Tranquility Chosen, Maelstrom, Starfall, and now they're going for another wall. They are really, really trying to just push the advantage that they have. They know that Vala is still down, and they're using that timing window that they have to take down another wall.
Definitely. If Mosh Pit with being taken here from ETC as we expected, if it does hit and gets a good connection, then it can be game-changing. But It's all in the if it does, because it can easily not hit.
Yeah. And also, every single hero that we're seeing on the lineup for PKD has an interrupt. Every single one of them.
Yeah. So there's so much potential for them to just shut it down unless it hits really, really well. Look at both teams now positioning themselves cautiously, not really knowing where the other one is.
And they're gonna find out soon, though. Oh, there they are, jumping in. Breeze is at the front. He goes in for the ult and needs to be interrupted, and he gets interrupted right away. Starfall is in a perfect position right now. That healing ward needs to be taken out, but first they're killing Mala. They're moving in to take down Nanda as well. Breeze is low and drops too. Only Jaina is still there, and well, I can tell you one thing: she's not gonna survive either.
So much damage being done. The Envenom being able to tick off just at the very end to kill the Valor as well. And I mean, that's the risk you run when you're going up against a comp like this. And now they just have free reign over this position. They're going to take so many skulls. And with the original plan that they used for the push of the Golem first to get that wall down at the back, then that Golem is going to have an absolute field day with that keep.
Yeah, not only that, this is going to be a 100 Skull Golem.
Yeah.
And it is also meaning that we are seeing a 100 Skull Golem pushing in a good position to take down Keep with a team behind him that will have level 13 and the extra talent.
They're trying to come in and contest this. They're trying to maybe get some kills off the back of it. It's very low. It's going to end up falling. They're going to get their skulls, but they're going to force a fight off the back of this. They are all at half health.
If they lose this fight, I think the game's over.
Oh, yeah.
If they lose it here, I think the game is over. They need to get some kills in here, and they know that too. They're moving in, they're pushing actually PKD in the corner. Really good corner here. They could maybe take them down once again. ETC jumps in, maybe the chance for them.
Oh, they're all very, very low. Two are going to get fallen for ETC in the trade. Third ends up falling as well. Anti-Hero is going to go down. Blow Your Brains falls.
The Mana Mules!
Oh, wow.
They both dropped the Mana Mules here, and it is PKD that gets wiped. Wow.
Ouch. Well, they've still got 100 Skull Golem to deal with, but getting a team wipe was nice. That was making sure that they didn't lose right there and then at least.
Oh, that saved their ass.
Yeah.
If they lose that fight, and that was a Hail Mary move. That was just like Peter Bakers looking at what's happening, was saying, okay, boys, we need to go in right now before they TP back, maybe claim a few skulls, but at least go for a team fight, because if we miss that, we will die. And they got the all-team kill, and with that, they're suddenly back on the wall, because right now, we have in 13 versus 13. They should lose that keep, and I think they will. It's gonna be close. Yeah, they're gonna lose the keep.
Has to die. If it didn't,
that was a close one, actually.
Yeah.
If that keep doesn't die, it's gonna get Mule up to full health.
Yeah, so it was good that they actually did get that with that 100 Skull Golem, but it took all 100 skulls, mind you, for that to happen. If they'd somehow jumped in at the very end of that Golem because they were very, very close and picked up some of the skulls themselves, that might not have happened. So it was very, very important for PKD to get that lying in wait here for Breeze. He walks into the bush.
Oh god, no.
Oh, well, that happened.
The power of Hunter's Mark. If you get a Hunter's Mark on a stun target, it's just goodbye.
Yeah.
And ETC didn't stand a chance. So, like, yeah, there's beef for dinner.
Yeah, that poor cow, he is done for. He's going to have to put on some pressure up to the top, actually. They really don't want to be in this position. Actually getting very, very bold here is BKB straight into the middle of all of this. He's taking a lot of damage.
Yeah, there's a healing ward though, and he is already popping his ults, trying to stay alive. There comes also the Starfall, but down goes Anti-Hero on Kerrigan, but he's not gonna be the only victim in there. Individuum is finally popping his ult in to get the extra damage in. He can push Ananda out and drops him over the edge. Oro's boy is extremely low too. Maybe they get the second kill in there. Nope, but they take fort and tower.
Yeah, trying to throw down the mule to even repair something here, but it's not going to work out. And yeah, even if Breeze had come in at the end of that fight, I'm not really sure much of what he could have done if they'd have lost more. ETC doesn't do a whole lot of damage, and without the synergy of mates there to help your mosh pit out, wouldn't have done much. So they get another fort. This is looking bad here for BR Bakers, looking pretty bad.
That's going to be level 16 before we're moving into the next mines. At least it should be. Oh, an interesting idea to go for the Siege Giant camp now to just prolong the fight in the mines and force them to leave one hero out there or send him out later so that they can save the fort. That lane is going to be pushed back hard. 16 isn't there yet, and we're also looking at the experience. Are they going to try and take it before that? Yep, there they have the talent, and now they're all entering the mines.
And they're looking for a fight by the looks of things. Anti-hero as well as Nebsy spot Breeze. The Owl spots all of them and hits a lot of them as well. That chips them down slightly. So they don't really want to be taking this fight at all without that talent. Just going to try and clamor for some skulls, I guess, but...
Skulls already in the hands of PKD. They're going from camp to camp right now. Here comes Beat Our Bakers. They're gonna look for the fight here. They're trying to get that mosh skip of Breeze. Breeze is moving in. Here come the ultimates already being used. The healing wards in the back. Stuns are starting. Breeze needs to be careful here. Rain of Vengeance being started, and Breeze with the mosh pit. He does get interrupted by the grenade, and suddenly he is going to die again as Kerrigan jumps into, drops him. Wooby is extremely low too, and look at the Primal Grasp. Oh my god, that rewind there.
So much damage being done. He's going to fall as well as Valor at the very end of all of that. Tomsy and Wooby are going to have to get out, and it's amazing because none of the ult cooldowns were off for BR Bakers, sorry, for PKD for a long time during the start of that fight, but they still, weren't able to properly capitalize on it. So tough stuff there for BR Bakers.
It's just like they're all so clustered up, and Kerrigan, if you can just like keep her alive a bit longer, then she just says thank you, hits the rewind, goes for Primal Grasp and Impaling Blades again, stuns those targets out. You could really see that even with the ult that they got off on ETC, the interrupt was immediately there. There are just too many heroes on the opponent's team that can do that.
Yeah.
And now they're going to have to deal with a 92 skull golem and an entire team that is going to move in with a level advantage. This could be the end of the game.
Yep, definitely. They've had to deal with the siege camp that actually took the wall down at the top keep as well. Now they've been able to grab themselves those level 16 talents as they come in, but they're going up against double stone skin on Arthas as well as Taika. So bringing those two down whilst having to deal with the golem, it's going to be suspect here, Kaldor.
Yeah, I mean, for me, right now, this is going to be one of those things where I just don't know how exactly Beat Our Bakers could win this fight here. Maybe they pull something miraculously off with a good stun comp against one of the targets and can drop them. Maybe they can take down Kerrigan fast enough. That might be a chance for them. But the longer they have to fight the team, the more time the Golem has to put damage onto the core. So they have to make a decision there, and it's not an easy one. Nice fall by Orospu, but here comes Breeze. They're really looking for the mosh pit again.
Oh, he actually gets 3 of them in it, but actually gets interrupted out of it all the way. Manages to pick up the Malfurion kill to start things off, and Blow Your Mind had to get out of there pretty quickly. But when this fight is over and done with Wooby going very low, they've still got to deal with the Golem.
Oh, and suddenly there are 2 more down. Kerrigan and Arthas are both down. They killed Tacita, but that's it. Individuum is also very low, and that Golem is actually doing work, but at the same time, the Mule is already starting to repair the core. They might actually survive this here. Individuum is low. He needs to be careful. He doesn't have Odin any longer, and there's still 4 heroes on the map that could take him down.
There was a small tantalizing moment just before that engagement went off where Mosh Pit was on like 10 seconds cooldown. Breeze waited for the perfect moment to try and get it off, and it actually caused a lot of disruption. But this core is at 39% here. I think it's just done.
Yeah, they killed the Mule, I think, with a grenade, and that is the big difference. Suddenly, this is game, and the boss is doing it. GG, ladies and gentlemen. PKD takes Haunted Mines and wins the best of 3 series against Beat Our Bakers with a 2-0.
Congratulations to them. It was an interesting pick and ban phase, especially in that last game, of course, it being on Haunted Mines. But as you said, in the end, taking that 2-0, that's a pretty cool little step there for Planet Key Dynamics, especially considering they didn't get that victory in the first week against Well Met. So at least they're able to kind of eke out their losses, as it were.
Yeah, I have to admit that today I am a bit disappointed by Beat Our Bakers. First, not so in the second game, more so in the first one with that draft. Maybe they had some kind of scrims where they really ran, where they were very, very successful with that strategy. Like, I don't know, there's definitely information missing, but I expected more from them here because I really like the team. They are playing very, very well. They have been doing well in Europe in general, but right now that just didn't look as solid as I'm used from them. And they were a team that was always like looking also for like, I think the best thing to describe is like new combos. They were experimenting with a lot of heroes when I've been watching them in scrims and been doing very well with this, but today that didn't work out at all, and Planet Key Dynamics was just way too good. And I think a lot of the games today for Planet Key Dynamics were decided in the draft. The second draft
Yeah.
that we saw here, also a great one. I mean, Kerrigan Arthurs on this map together with the Tyrande then as well for the Hunter's Mark. That one time they blew up ETC. That took like how long? Half a second and he was down?
Yeah, that was tough. That was tough. Well, congratulations to them. Good win, a good win. And that pretty much does it for our games here today. Don't forget, let me quickly run through what we've got coming up. So in a few hours' time, of course, we've got the NA Hero League going on. And then Thursday, same time, same place here, we have We Are Not Prepared versus Team Acer and El Nexo going up against Team X yet to be determined. Because tomorrow we've got the qualifier going on that Mr. Kaldor is going to be bringing you. You don't know the time for that yet, right?
I don't know exactly when it starts. I talked to the admin earlier and he wanted to just like talk to the teams what time is best. I guess at some point between 5 and 6 p.m. we're most likely going to start with that. And yeah.
Okay.
So that should be pretty
Cool
decent.
stuff. Well, any final words, Kaldor, before we say goodbye?
Not really. Looking forward to especially Thursday when we're having the new patch. And of course, I hope that you guys enjoyed today's matches. It was a pleasure casting with you again.
Thank you very much.
And looking forward to the next time.
All right, buddy. Well, that does it from us here, guys. So join us on Thursday for more ESL Major League.